Hello and welcome to the Scott Ballard Show right here on the Warrior Sports Network. I'm Cory Prudoehl, joined as always by the head women's basketball coach, Scott Ballard. Coach did some good things this weekend, ultimately 2 losses falling Friday night in a close one to Augustana, 74-71, and then dropping to Wayne State as well, 64-44. So kind of talk me through what you thought about this weekend.
Well, we knew it was going to be a tough weekend because of the quality of the opponents, and we stressed to our team before we left for this trip how important it was going to be to take care of the basketball, to not have long scoring droughts anytime during the game, and to rebound. And both teams are really good at what they do. They're at opposite ends of the spectrum with regards to their style of play. Augie is a press, full court, change their defense, try to make you play like your hair's on fire. Up-tempo, fast break, half their shots are usually threes. They try to turn you over a lot. And so they're a team of runs. And then Wayne, who has been ranked top 25 most of the year and will be again soon, they are a very experienced team. They start 3 seniors that are their top 3 scorers. They got 4 D1 transfers on their team. They're really good at home. They're 17-3, not because they're lucky, but because they're good. But all they play is a 2-3 zone, and they're really good at it. Their zone is better and different than any zone that anyone else in the league plays. So we had trouble taking care of the ball on a consistent basis. Against Augie, we came out, we had a great start to the game. We had a 21-point lead with 5 minutes to go in the first half. We were ready. We handled their zone press. We attacked on the back of it. We got easy scores. We shot a good percentage. We were a machine the first half, and halftime saved Augie. And that's why you have a halftime, and that's why there's 2 halves to play. But the second half, they came out and changed their press into a more aggressive, full-court man-to-man run and jump. And we still handled it very well in the backcourt, but what it did, because it was more aggressive, it made us speed up in the half court. And whenever you speed up, it's usually because you're uncomfortable. And so we had, I think the first half we had 6 turnovers, the second half we had 11 turnovers. And we had to burn, another thing that haunted us was that we had to burn a couple quick timeouts early in the second half to save a possession. There was a loose ball. We had to call timeout, with 9 seconds to go on the shot clock to keep it from turning into a jump ball or a turnover. And we could have used those timeouts later in the game. But we really played a good game. We were up 14 at halftime. From the 14-minute mark to the 9-minute mark was the only time during the game where we didn't score with regularity or we didn't match buckets. And we went, during that stretch, I think we were 0 for 8 from the field. We had 3 turnovers. Well, there went our 11-point lead. So, the last 9 minutes of the game, it was a dogfight. It was back and forth, teams having to make plays and get stops. And with 5 minutes to go, we had already built up a 7-point lead. But then we had a breakdown on defense, and they got a 3. And then to follow that up, we got an offensive rebound. Instead of kicking it out, we tried a wraparound pass, post to post. They knock it loose, get a run out, hit another 3. Now it's a 1-point game, and it pretty much was a 1-point game the whole last 5 minutes of the game. Well, they've got probably player of the year in the league in Shantiva Ashley, and she's a guard, so she's touching the ball every possession, and she got aggressive and started dribble driving and getting to the line or creating something for herself or a teammate. So she kept making plays, and then we kept getting the ball into Kayla Timmerman, and we just matched buckets. But then with 30 seconds to go, they called timeout. They have an out-of-bounds play. They run it. It breaks down. Ashley has her dribble killed at the left elbow and does a turnaround floater off one leg, and it goes in to put them up 1. We get the ball in bounds. We had already called a play that we were going to run during their timeout, and we just didn't post up hard enough. We didn't drive to the rim hard enough, and they got away with going through our ball handler and punching it loose without a foul. and they recover the loose ball. We got a foul, and they make their free throws, and that's the game. But you know, I don't want our players to forget how well that we played and dominated a good portion of that game. But you know, you still have to keep your composure. You know, we got knocked off balance for a travel. We misread each other on, you know, a kick out, and, you know, we thought we were breaking one way. We stop and we throw the ball out of bounds. So, you know, we had our opportunities, but that's the only game we've lost this year where we had the lead in the last 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, it's a learning experience. It's a game that we let them steal from us, literally. Mm-hmm. And we will play them again, you know, last home game of the regular schedule. But they're a good team, and they're probably starting to play their best basketball of the season. And, you know, something else that really speaks volumes to the parity in our league is that last weekend, on Saturday, all 8 of the men and women's teams, home teams, won. Mm-hmm. Not one road team won on Saturday. On Friday, I don't know on the men's side, but on the women's side, 6 of the 8 home teams won. So teams are really having a difficult time winning on the road because of the parity. And to win on the road, you've got to be really good at taking care of the ball. You've got to be good defensively, and you've got to make some plays and get some rebounds. And we did that most of the time. We needed to do it one more time. Mm-hmm. And you know, we've got to keep growing as a team to where we get rock solid, consistent on all the little things, and not leave the game, the outcome of the game, up to chance with regards to the bounce of the ball or an official's call or non-call. We got to take care of what we can control. And you know, that'll be a point of emphasis with us, you know, this next week. The Wayne game, you know, another game in which we let a run determine the outcome of the game. We did not play well offensively at any point during this game, and it was frustrating because we probably practiced against zone more last week than we did against man, but yet going from the Augie up-tempo pressure, man-to-man, trapping defense to playing against the zone where they're trying to play halfway in between, you know, you and the basket or the ball all the time. We had a lot of trouble with decision-making, with, you know, what kind of pass to make, when to pass, where to pass, and we were never in sync in that game offensively. But with 3:21 to go in the first half, it's 20-17. Mm-hmm. So we're still in the game. But then we let them go on a 16-0 run to have all the momentum and completely change, you know, the complexion of the game at halftime because we stopped taking care of the ball and gave up some run-outs and threes in transition and some easy scores. Honestly, defensively, we were pretty darn good this weekend in both games. But because of the turnovers, the other team got away with too many possessions where they didn't have to play against our half-court defense. So sometimes, you know, the old cliche that the best defense is a better offense, that really holds true when it comes down to taking care of the basketball.
Mm-hmm. Well, you mentioned the parity and the home teams against the road teams. Fortunately, you're back at home now this weekend as you take on Bemidji State and Minnesota Crookston, so you'll be back later this week to talk a little bit about those big home matchups where you're undefeated inside McCown Gymnasium. A little bit later this week here on the Scott Ballard Show on the Warrior Sports Network.